What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the After Hour episodes, the post-UFC ESPN episodes, episode 128 of the Axis of Combat podcast. I'm one half of your host, Hugo the Boss. Hugo got next, joined by my co-host.
It's your boy, Ray Boogie Kahuna. On today's episode, we did the UFC rankings. Now we're going to be doing the UFC pound for pound rankings, both for the women and the men. And on the boxing end, we have Inoue versus Picasso, Night of the Samurai. I didn't choose the title. But before we get into any of that, my brother, like always, tell them what the deal is.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
If you're enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, of course, what are you waiting for? Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
We're going to be kicking it up with some UFC pound for pound talk, and we're going to start off with the women's pound for pound. Starting off with number 15, Maycee Barber. 14, Yao Jianan. 13, Rose Namajunas. 12, Tatiana Suarez. 11, Raquel Pennington. 10, Verna Jandiroba. 9, Alexa Grasso. 8, Juliana Pena. 7, Erin Blanchfield. 6, Manon Fiorot. 5, Mackenzie Dern. 4, Natalia Silva. 3, Zhang Wei Li. 2, Kayla Harrison. And number 1, Valentina Shevchenko. So, as currently constituted, this is, December. This is the end of the year. This is 2025 version of the pound for pound rankings for the women. So, as currently constituted right now, do you agree with the rankings and who would you swap? Now, me personally, I think this is pretty much a solid list from top to bottom. I think I would make 2 changes here. I'd probably swap Rose for Suarez, and I'd swap Maycee for Yan.
Yeah, I'm with you on your swaps. I think your swaps are appropriate. I think Tatiana's been exposed a little bit for the time off as well as the injuries. And I think she's more of a limited fighter than we want to give credit for. Rose is doing her thing in 2 different weight classes, and you can make an argument she's the strawweight GOAT. Now she's in discussions for top 5 in the second weight class that she's in. I don't think she's ever going to win a championship at 125, but that's not even the point. The point is that she is actually a pound for pound fighter. She's doing work in both weight classes. She could move back down to strawweight, probably still be competitive there. And she's highly competitive at 25, almost a gatekeeper, but a high level gatekeeper that on any given night can surprise and deliver some upsets to some of the upper tier fighters. Do I think she's going to be a champion? No, but I'm there with you in terms of that assessment. I also think Maycee, particularly after her last win, she looked really good. She had seizures the fight before. Hope she's, back intact and she's ready to rock and roll. But I definitely could see her speed running this list as well, because I think the physicality edge that she has over some of these girls at the 25 division, including Rose Namajunas, is going to be substantial, and I expect her to be competing for a championship sometime this year or early next year.
Now, as currently constituted, as of right now, who do you not think belongs on this list? I don't know if I said that question correctly. Who do you think doesn't belong on this list? Now, my answer might be a little spicy. I think it's Tatiana Suarez. It's Tatiana because, listen, I'm not doubting the wrestling talent. I'm not doubting the skill that this woman has and this woman possesses. But to be ranked with the wins that she has, and again, like you mentioned earlier, she's probably the most limited fighter on this list. And unfortunately, she's past her prime. For better or for worse, I don't think she's going to get any better. I just see it going downhill from here on out for her.
I'm a little less harsh on Tatiana than you are. So
I told you it was going to be a hot one.
Yeah, is she going to be favored against Zhang Wei Li? No. But could you see her winning against Mackenzie Dern? Yes. I think 95% of the division she beats up, low key. It's just that 5% that she's going to have issues with. Even like Amanda Lemos, if that fight was 5 rounds, it's probably having a different conversation. She hugged her to death to win that fight. But she could do that to anybody. And I think if she got on top of someone like Mackenzie Dern, she could do serious damage to her, because Mackenzie likes to play off her back. Verna is an interesting fight for Tatiana, in my opinion. Another girl that I think would give her a lot of trouble because of the physicality. But, I won't say she doesn't belong in the pound for pound, because there's only 3 weight classes for women. But the girl that I would circle here would be, unfortunately, Yan Xiaonan.
Ooh.
We have been big,
I'm a big fan of Jan.
Yes.
So that might, that could be a little bias on my end, but I'm willing to hear the argument.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like she's worked adequately on her ground game. I do think she's going to be a gatekeeper. I just think she's going to win as many fights as she's going to lose, unfortunately, because of her age, even though she is big for the weight class, which makes it very interesting, like in terms of her status and what she's going to be overall going forward. But I just feel like young, hungry contenders, new wave of MMA is here. I see her falling off this list, unfortunately, even though I really like her.
I can't disagree, but I guess a similar question I would ask, not who doesn't belong on this list right now, but a year from now, a year to the day, who's not on this list? Now, I mean, you already heard, I don't think Suarez belongs on this list right now. I don't think she's going to be on this list next year. Jan, I also agree, is probably not on this list next year. I also think, maybe hot take, maybe because she's a little older, maybe it's not a hot take, but Raquel Pennington, not on this list next year.
She might retire.
I think she will.
Yeah.
And maybe the hottest take, Julieta Pena is not on this list next year.
She also might retire. Very arguable. Because she's another one, too. I think she can beat 95% of the division. And for people that are still butthurt on Raquel losing to her, watch that fight again. Tell me she didn't win the first round with the jab, and then she won 2 of the next 4.
Yeah, no, she did a thing in that fight.
I mean, I think people are just haters, to be frank, of the girl. And, I'm going to hold it down for my Latina over here because, this is 2 Latino boys talking about her, but the girl can fight. Yeah, we love her on this podcast. She talks a gang of shit. She actually is entertaining. I mean, bantamweight itself is not entertaining relative to strawweight or flyweight, but
bantamweight is the worst division.
she will put hands on you. You know what I'm saying? It's not, she beat Amanda. You could say it's a fluke. Fight's a fight. That's what it is. She was a better woman that night. She has only lost to like the best fighters in this division's history, Amanda, Kayla, and Valentina. So there's no shame in that. And I just feel like everyone else, I just feel like she has a little bit of an upper hand. It's just whether or not she wants to continue fighting and whether or not Kayla and Amanda either double retire or relinquish the belt to go to 45. And I think Juliana will be fast-tracked, arguably back to that belt. So I think she has more upside. I think Raquel's shot, to be frank, she does not look good. I'm with you there. I think that's another girl that will probably not be on the list next year, whether or not she will lose a fight or she will just retire. So that's where I'm at with that as well.
And now to conclude at least the women's pound for pound here. Now it's prediction time. Next year, who makes this list? And the people who do make this list, who makes top 5? I think maybe a lock who's currently ranked right now is probably Fatima Klein.
Lock.
I think she makes, I can see her making pound for pound.
She's the next generation of MMA that I'm talking about.
She is very good.
She's very good.
And then 2, maybe dark horses, maybe not. Denise Gomes and Robertson. And Robertson, particularly Robertson, depending on the matchmaking.
Correct.
But I like those 2 names in particular from strawweight.
Robertson's quietly making a case for herself. And, obviously she's getting the Dean Thomas special, Preferable matchmaking for girls that she knows she can take down and control and submit, right? So
easy.
Even this Amanda Lemos fight that she was supposed to have, I see why they stood on the card, even though the prior opponent who was more favorable of a matchup fell out. And it's because I think she felt with the size coming down from 25 to 15 that she could, match the physicality of Lemos and then probably work her and gas her out with the grappling. So I didn't hate her staying on it. I thought she was going to lose that fight, to be frank. Do I think she can be a champion in this weight class? I think she can beat up someone like Mackenzie Dern. Low key.
Well, listen, Mackenzie
I don't want to shit on the girl.
She might be on the way out anyway. Again, because one of her goals was to win. I think she probably wants to defend maybe once or twice and then be out.
She's going to be fighting the Hammer Zhang, boy. It's a body bag.
Because the one true love is the BJJ, and that's where she's been vocal about going back to just, the world of BJJ. I think she's tired of getting punched in the face for a living.
Yeah, I'm with you. I also just think even if she did want to stay, she's going to get the walking papers no matter what.
I mean, listen, credit to her. She has improved.
And significantly.
Significantly improved.
But she's very limited.
But she still is very limited. She does have holes.
Horrid takedown defense. Striking's all over the place, even though the boxing's gotten cleaned up. Gives up a lot of top time if you let her. Yeah. And the thing is, the girls now are just catching up to her jiu-jitsu, man. When you're getting body locks and back takes on smaller girls, and now the girls are getting bigger now and they have better takedown defense and better striking. I mean, good luck. Good luck, man. I mean, I just feel like there's even like she wants Tatiana back because Tatiana's going to give her the fight she wants. I see why she wants that fight, but I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Tatiana could probably do dirt to her, low key. I think people must have forgotten. This is a girl, like everyone's trying not to hit the floor with Tatiana. This girl wants to, and it's like, she's just a better wrestler than you, man. I think she's going to beat your ass.
But the counterpoint to that is like, I think you're right. I think Tatiana, it's a favorable matchup for her. Still sad to say that in the striking department, Mackenzie probably lights her up.
100%.
Which is insane.
And then you have girls like Amanda Lemos, who we faded Mackenzie against, and you know,
oh yeah,
that was delicious.
Oh my God.
We knew how that fight was gonna go, and we told you how that fight was gonna go. Lemos lit her up like a fucking Christmas tree, you know. Since it's, you know, that time of year, we're gonna eventually make that as a reference point. But
I love Lemos. You know, respectfully, she's a bad bitch, man.
She is.
I love that.
I love everything about her game. She's very physical, very nasty, good guillotine, good submission game, and once again, didn't let Mackenzie get to her spots. So for me. And by the way, even if Yan Shannon decides to fight Mackenzie again, I think she might have success because she's significantly improved her takedown defense. So
yeah, she has.
And she's big.
Yep.
So you know, this is what I'm saying. I've never seen, not in a long time, like such a beatable champion.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't think she's very good. Yeah, her jiu-jitsu is good. How many people has she realistically submitted at strawweight? She might be up on the list, but like relative to her longevity there, she doesn't have a lot of submissions. Jillian Robertson's pulling people away much faster.
I agree. I think she has more sub wins. Maybe that's I don't know. I want to. Hey, fact check us, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure she has more sub wins.
I think she has more sub wins in the UFC.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for me, it's like, you know, Jillian gets on top of her and works her like a summer jab too. So she's just such a beatable champion. And, you know, I don't want to shit on the girl. Good on her. Good. I thought her with the belt with the daughter was an adorable thing. But
that was great.
This is not, you know,
feel good moments.
This is not a podcast that's gonna, you know, sob or, you know, bolster over like adorable moments. We're here to just be critical of what we're watching.
Yeah, you know, keep it to the facts. We keep it straight.
Yeah, keep it 100.
Keep it 100. That's what I was looking for.
Keep it real New York. You know what I'm saying? Baby, baby.
Baby. Now I got two names at flyweight. One, I think she's been pound for pound before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Jasmine Jasdavicius.
Yeah.
And a dark horse, Miranda Maverick.
Yeah, Miranda, I'm shaky on.
I think it's matchmaking dependent on that one too.
I agree.
She's another girl, in my opinion, that has made strides in her game.
Yeah, and Jazz has lost only to Manon.
Yes.
And it's like, dude, like Manon, if Manon fights Valentina tomorrow, I know she lost the first fight, I'm betting her again against Valentina. So, you know, ain't no shame in losing to Manon.
Three more names. This is in the very dreadful bantamweight division. One person who has been pound for pound before, Norma Dumont. One person who I think will make top 15, Jacqueline Cavalcanti. And one person who might be a dark horse here, and it might be a hot take, Aileen Perez.
Yeah. No, I know people may not get, I don't know what it is about like flagrant, like Spanish women in the sport that people get turned off by.
They don't like the flagrantness of the attitude.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Of the, you know.
Welcome to my culture, bitches. Welcome. ¿Cómo estás, bitches?
¿Cómo estás, bitches?
You know, so it's crazy like that. People, you know, they don't fuck with her. I get why, because she just talks a gang of shit. But
she's abrasive, man.
But she's fucking good.
Yeah,
like she's improved her wrestling significantly. I can depend on her when I'm trying to handicap it, right? So
yeah, I know she's got the good wrestling. Now the striking does need help, but I'm pretty sure that's something she's working on. She's, you know, one of these headstrong women. Maybe a little, you know, on the smooth brain side when it comes to the IQ, but like if she can lock in, I think she's got what she needs especially in a bantamweight division that's fucking terrible.
It needs life, dude.
It does.
It needs life. Like that division is. Oh.
And then Jacqueline Cavalcanti, I mean, her striking's A1. She used to fight almost at 155 at one point, 165. She was a big girl.
Takedown defense is phenomenal.
Phenomenal. And she's working on it. She hasn't shown the wrestling side of her game yet. But again, you know, that's another thing where, hey, one skill is going to carry you far. I'm pretty sure she's working on it. If I had to put a bet on it, you know, a shoe-in for 15 next year.
Yeah, her and Aileen Perez have taken time off away too. And I like that, particularly for younger fighters. I think they are retooling. They're doing their thing. And I think they're interesting for the most part. Like, I think in terms of their prospects to make this list as well as their development. Another girl that I will mention, I think she might be coming off of a loss. I'm not sure. I gotta double check, but she is a little older. Nora Canole. Yeah, and she's another girl that every time I see her, she looks better. She looks better. Like, she's becoming another safe bet. Like, if you, depending on matchmaking, you know what you're getting from her. And then you can expect maybe a 15 to 20% increase in skill and decision making. So she's another one. I won't put a bet on it in terms of her making the top 15, but if she made it next year, I would not be surprised.
Just to wrap it up, on the current list, who makes top 5 here? Macy Barber, I think clearly, right?
Absolutely.
She's got all the talent in the world. I think she can definitely make top 5. Erin Blanchfield, she's sitting at 7, can definitely be top 5. Natalia Silva, already number 4. I think she holds top 5 coming into next year. And Manon Fiorot, I mean, physicality alone, like, I think can get her steadily into the top 5. She's currently sitting at number 6 right now.
I think she's the champion at some point next year. I think she's going to be Valentina if it's not Natalia Silva. These girls now can be Valentina. 100%. The skill difference is going to be interesting. Natalia Silva fight's very interesting just because of the back foot play that she has. She's very good at angling even when she is not the aggressor, that's a skill that you have to really develop and work on. She's good. She's very good. And I wonder how that fight's going to look because Valentina likes to be the counter striker. So it could be one of the most boring fights in MMA history.
It could be.
But I think Manon she's a beast. Her name is the Beast, if I'm correct, right? So
that's the nickname.
Yeah, she's very good. She's very good. I'm with you here. I don't have any issues with what you mentioned in terms of who's going to go with the top 5 to championship level. Yeah, I'm with you.
Now moving right along to the men's pound for pound. So we're going to be kicking it off with number 15, Arman Sarukian. 14, 3-name Jack Della Mandalena. 13, Magomed Ankalaev. 12, Joshua Van. 11, DDP, Dricus Duplessis. 10, Max Holloway. 9, Alexandre Pantoja. 8, Tom Aspinall. 7, Merab Davishvili. 6, Piotr Jan. 5, Alexander Volkanovski. 4, Poatan Alex Pereira. 3, Khamzat Chimaev. 2, Ilia Topuria. And number 1, Islam Makhachev. Now, do you agree with the rankings? Who would you swap? I got a couple of swaps here. Personally, I'd swap Tom and Pantoja. Only because, Tom's fought once this year. Pantoja twice. I know Pantoja lost his last fight, unfortunately. I don't want to take it away from Josh, but he did fight twice. Pantoja, I think he goes ahead of Tom here. I would swap Poatan and Volk, only because I'm biased. I'll just throw it out there. Volk coming off his last win against Lopes, right?
Yeah.
And Poatan losing the belt and then regaining the belt against Ankalaev. I'd swap both those guys. And Van and DDP. Only because Van has been extremely active. And DDP, one fight this year. It was a loss. It was the Khamzat. I would also rearrange the bottom 3. Bottom 3 currently constitutes as Ankalaev at 13, 3-name Jack at 14, and Arman at 15. I would go Arman, Jack, Ank.
Yeah, I'm there too.
That would be my bottom swappage, but that's all I got for the swaps.
Yeah, Ankalaev, in terms of being impressive.
Listen.
I mean, he's got 2 losses, and they've kind of just been by his own doing, right?
All I'm going to say is this is not the last time I'm mentioning Ank.
Donkalaev. He's dumb, bro. Like, I respect him as a fighter, don't get me wrong, but the UFC is trying to get rid of this guy. He's not going to be here even if they have no choice but to put him on the list next year. He's not going to be here. Arman is actually going in there, stopping his fights. Arman's made significant improvements to his ground and pound. I see what he did to Dan Hooker was fucking crazy. I'm sorry.
It was a thing of beauty.
That was brutal. That was brutal to watch.
A beautiful disaster.
And don't get me wrong, I understand that Dan is might be a little over the hill, but no one's really controlled him like that on the floor, and no one's really put damage on him like that on the floor. Like, Islam ran through him, quick submission, but you could tell Dan, if he doesn't get caught in that, probably gonna have more engagement on the floor, probably trying to get up more. Armin just snatched his soul, man. And to be frank, he should be undefeated because he beat Gamrot. Like, that was a robbery, in my opinion. So I think the Armin disrespect is absurd. Probably he's the only one that can beat Ilya, in my opinion. He's in this division. He's also the only one that could have beaten Islam, as well, too. It's Ilya and Armin to beat Islam, by the way. Like, those were guys I was going to be comfortable making dog plays on.
Not the last time I'm going to be mentioning Arman either. Just a heads up. Spoiler alert.
And the other thing that I will say, I agree with you. I think Pantoja disrespect is insane.
It is.
I'm tired of this guy getting wildly disrespected. And I've been saying on this podcast, guys, he probably is the best back taker in MMA. Yes, it sounds crazy to like a casual guy that doesn't understand the sport or understand jiu-jitsu. But if you understand how difficult it is to take someone's back, it's no joke. And he does it, and he has one of the best setups to his rear naked choke / armbar series in MMA. Probably in history, to be frank, particularly in this division. So I agree with you. I think he should be ahead of Tom because Tom hasn't been active. Even though he is the champion, he did win a vacant belt and got eye poked. None of this is his doing, by the way. He's a guy that will be in top 4 or 5 discussion soon. I mean, I'm not worried about him.
You can make the argument Tom was like stalled out for like half the fucking year waiting for John
100%.
John Jones' response, or John Jones like, what the fuck are you going to do with the heavyweight belt? You know what I'm saying?
But once again, none of this is doing.
Yeah.
But once again, we have to speak facts into who's being active. Pantoja was an active champion.
Yeah, and I value activity on pound for pound list.
And if he doesn't get hurt in this fight, once again, I tell you guys right now, he subs Josh Van within 3 rounds. Maybe even 2.
Yeah, I was.
We had a bet on that.
We missed one, man.
That was free money to me. I'm sorry. My brother was correct too. He said the fight stunk and then he injured himself, and I said shit.
I just had bad vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you called it though.
Yeah.
Like you were speaking on it. I thought Pantoja. I'm with you. Like I wasn't there with the bad vibes, but I think Pantoja was gonna maul him. I really believe that. Like I just think, and he's done it to high level people. Like he's done it to Moreno. He's done it to everyone in the top 3 or 4 in this division. Mauled them.
I agree.
So
yeah.
Pantoja, I think, is highly disrespected. Peter Yan's up there now. He's a guy that I also think can beat Umar. That fight's interesting because
I want to see that fight.
Umar is a better control grappler than Merab. That's the thing. But I don't think that Umar's in the UFC's best graces either. So I think Yan is going to get more of favorable matchmaking because his style dictates it and he's entertaining as shit.
He's a fun fighter. He's a good fighter.
Very good.
And I'm happy he got his belt back.
Yeah.
Low key. Like, it was a long journey for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a beast. Like, respect to Peter Yan, you know? So, in addition, the other one that you had a spicy take on, I can't get there with you. I think Alex Pereira should be number 4. He put it this way. I know Volkanovski's in the new Street Fighter movie. Like,
side note, that trailer was kind of bomb.
I love that trailer. You know, so
that teaser.
Scott Pilgrim versus the world and Kill Bill vibes for what I got from it. I'm all in for it. I think you need to embrace the goofiness for a movie like that.
I agree. Street Fighter is just a goofy franchise, you know?
Yeah, and they're going for it, which I respect. It's not going to be like Jean-Claude Van Damme being paraded as an American hero when he's clearly from fucking Belgium, you know? So, you know, it's I hate that they do that. Like Schwarzenegger and Van Damme are like the greatest American heroes not born in America,
Yeah,
right?
seriously.
So it's fucking insane. But anyway, I can't get behind you with this Pereira Volkanovski thing, and for 2 reasons. Volkanovski, older, got murked for his belt against Topuria, murked. And anyone who knew anything knew that was going to happen because we understand Topuria's footwork. We call on this podcast. We knew he was going to decimate him.
Yeah.
And he did. Even if he didn't get knocked out by Islam, by the way, the fight prior, I still think Topuria was going to murk him. It's just what it is.
I agree.
So Alex Pereira lost a 3-2 decision to Ankalaev. He's cleaned out the division. Then comes back and just murks him in the second fight.
Runs him the fuck over.
Ran him over.
My God.
Yeah. So for me, I just feel, and then now he's going to go to heavyweight. He's already champion.
Well, supposedly.
He's already a champion in 2 weight classes.
I know Dana's not a fan of like, I think Dana wants to keep him down a little longer before he moves him up.
Yeah, and I'm just happy John Jones is not getting what he wants.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on record saying that because I think this is a guy who fucked up the championship aspirations of Tom Aspinall, kept him inactive, held the belt hostage, watched him get poked in the eyes to a no contest, then came out and flagrantly said, that he's a coward and he's a quitter, but you turned down 30 mil to fight that coward and the quitter.
Little weird.
Little weird, man. And he's a New Yorker like us, by the way, so we want to hold it down for the boy, but bro,
I mean, listen, I think I want to normalize this. It's okay to have complex opinions. It's okay to say, hey, John Jones is the GOAT, but he's also an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's also old.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you guys comfortably look at how he's moving these days and say he's comfortably going to beat Tom Aspinall. Even this version of Cyril Gane, you think if he ran it back with John, that fight doesn't look dramatically different?
I think it looks different, but I mean, Cyril Gane is, I don't know.
He can't stop a takedown for shit.
That guy is,
yeah.
I don't know.
I'll roll that back. Cyril's a, Cyril dunk on.
So, yeah.
Cyril gone, you know what I'm saying?
Cyril gone.
Cyril fight IQ gone, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Cyril not here, gone.
Cyril gained, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're just making some shit up.
But he's I don't know how you comfortably look at John and say he's gonna beat Tom. Maybe in his peak, sure, but this is the same guy that, in my opinion, was afraid to move up and fight Cain Velasquez.
Hey man, people don't like to talk about that, man.
People don't want to have that conversation, man.
Why are you bringing up bullshit?
Yeah, but anyways, for the more active fighters, so let's just get back to that. Yeah, I think Pereira, I think it's hard to move him down from that spot. You want the real Khamzat's arguably to get moved down that spot too because he's not active. I get he's undefeated, but he's not active. He's not an active champion, guys. So that's what we determine these lists based off. He's not touching the top two. This is a situation with Topuria where no one's beating him in the division except Armin. If he goes up against Islam, I think he has a good round or two to murk him before Islam just drowns him with the wrestling. This fight at 55, that fight at 55 is nuts. But at 70, I think Islam's a little too big, which is why Islam is on top of this list. I think Islam is the rightful pound for pound. The guys who are going to make this list that can pose a threat to him, we'll get to that in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, before we get into that, I'm just going to combine the who doesn't belong here and who doesn't belong here next year. Well, okay. Who doesn't belong here? For me, it's an easy question, or is an easy answer. It's Ankalaev. Out of this whole list, Ankalaev right now does not belong on this list. Now, next year, who doesn't make this list? It's also Ankalaev. I'm just being completely honest. Ankalaev doesn't belong on this list right now. Ankalaev doesn't make this list next year. Pantoja, you mentioned before, I don't think he makes this list next year, but I think it's only because of injury. So depending on what the recovery time on that is, I don't think he fights next year at all.
Correct.
If he does, it's going to be at the end of the year. I don't know how you can hold a pound for pound spot there, respectfully. And I love Pantoja. Spicy take. Josh Van's probably not on this list next year.
I like that one a lot. And I know people are going to be like,
he's the champ. People are like, yo, hold on, slow down. Slow down. Why not? I mean, okay. It's spicy because, of people who I think are going to make the list. But I'll leave that one up in the air right now because I got two more names. I think 3-name Jack is probably not on this list next year. Unfortunately, I'm a fan of 3-name. Jack Dell is the god. But I don't think he makes this list next year. And maybe a very spicy take here. Maybe DDP's not on this list next year.
Interesting. Yeah.
And it's only because of the people in front of him and behind him.
As well as the dangers in the other divisions.
Yes.
Right. So, yeah, I'm with you here. And we won't get into who's going to be on this list. We'll get to that in a few minutes, like as my brother mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, just quick note on Ankh, future PFL champion. Get him out of here. He don't belong on this list now. I'm going to say it again. He ain't going to be on this list next year. That guy, his worst enemy is himself.
Yeah. And you guys, listen, we understand that he's a good fighter. He is.
He is.
But I got into an argument with some goofy on Twitter right before the Poatan fight, by the way, that said, I said hot take if I'm correct, but I remember my tweet correctly. We'll see if we could bring it up, I said hot take, Jiri beats Ankalaev. And I got ravished by one of the commenters. And immediately after, Pereira just runs him over. And I'm like, guys.
Come on, man.
You telling me if Pereira could do that, Jiri can't do that over 5 rounds? Ankalaev doesn't finish his fights. He lets these guys play around and hang around them. And the thing is, this is a guy in Jiri who's the ultimate comeback guy. A guy can still take a shot. The dude has bettered his wrestling. And if he does get taken down, he's a guy that kind of pops right back up. Extreme cardio, extremely athletic. Against a guy in Ankalaev who can't take a leg kick, who doesn't have the best control grappling, who doesn't go to the wrestling as much as you like him to. I mean, dude, I think that's food for Jiri. I think Jiri's going to bury him. low key. With that said, I gave away one of my guys who's gonna probably make this list, but
yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, that's fine.
Jiri's gonna be, I think, in the top 15 for sure next year. I just don't see who's gonna beat him in this division outside of Pereira. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest with you. I think he is a hammer. I really believe that. Unless someone can just clip him, right, and just hurt him, but you gotta hope that happens, and we still haven't seen it outside of Pereira. So Magomad's going to fall off this list, not only because of inactivity, but also because he doesn't finish. And I think there's a bigger hammer in the division. Josh Van, I think, loses to Tyra and or Manel Cap.
Yes.
I think you guys don't understand how much money we had faded for Van with Pantoja just because of the wrestling. You guys are going to say he can only fight who's in front of him. I understand. I'm just being critical of the guy's skill set. I think he's a limited fighter. And he doesn't take a shot well either, by the way. Charles Johnson knocked him out. Let's just call it what it is.
But that being said, like, I don't want to completely shit on Josh Van because I'm actually a fan of Josh Van.
I like him too.
We both are. I think he's got some of the best hands in the division.
Correct.
100%. Pure boxing, excellent. His body work, textbook.
Just not a ton of power.
No, not a ton of power, but like he don't need it, man. He's one of those, like, he'll beat you down via attrition, you know what I'm saying? And again, he's young, so I'm not saying he's already shown improvement in his takedown defense. But, flyweight is a monster of a division where you need to be well-rounded at all times. You got to have not only takedown defense, but you got to have some grappling yourself. I'm not saying there's not any room for Josh Van to make those kind of improvements. He's hella young.
Young as hell.
And I think out of everybody on this list, and everybody not on this list, he has the most potential.
Correct.
So, again, it's a hot take for a reason. I don't think Josh Van's on this list. Now, he can definitely prove me wrong. He could definitely make those improvements. He could definitely, shoot his way even higher on this list. I don't know. It's just a hot take. But, I just didn't want to shit on Josh Van completely.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah. And here's the other thing, too. Unfortunately for JDM, and DDP, this is another reason why I feel like they're going to fall off the list, because you have a Manel Cap, you have a Tyra, you have a Jiri. Those are 3 names out of the many that I can mention that I think are going to be in the top 15 next year. And because like the bottom half is non-champions, right? So I haven't even mentioned the welterweight contenders. And that's another discussion we're going to get into in a few minutes. But outside of that, I think the rest of this list is valid. Max Holloway's going to be up here because I think he's going to pick and choose his fights. I think he has earned the right to. I think he's going to beat up Charles Oliveira bad.
You could also add Max to the list of maybe he's not on this list next year, only because, he is getting older. The chin is still there, but not there anymore like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? And
hot take, he beats Topuria if he can take a shot the way he used to.
I agree.
And a lot of people don't want to hear that. Yeah. Like Max is a nightmare. Like in his prime would have been a nightmare for Topuria.
But I could see, I don't think he retires next year, but I'm not saying, it's in the future for sure.
Yeah. The thing is too, like depending on who's champion and depending on how they want to match make with the new Paramount Plus situation, if Max goes in there and murks Max might jump the line and get either Gaethje again, Patty, or Topuria. So he could be in title contention much sooner than much people think. Yeah. Even though Armin is the guy in this division, and Armin's a horrible matchup for him. I'm with you. Max is another guy that can fall off, but I would say less likely than the others.
Yeah, I agree. And just to, wrap things up now, it's prediction time. Who makes this list next year? Who's top 5 next year? I got a couple names. And you let me know if you disagree or agree. Some of them we've already mentioned. We've mentioned Manel Kape briefly. I think he's probably next in line for the belt. I think he's got a good shot of not only winning, but, staying in the pound for pound. Definitely staying number 1 in the flyweight division. The guy is talented as fuck.
He's his own worst enemy. Yeah. That's his only problem. The skills, the athleticism, all there. He's the whole package. And he cuts hilarious promos. The shit he did the other day, where he's like, men come up to me and they tell me to hold their baby's belly, and they become. That shit was. I was how.
No, it's hold their wife's belly so they could become pregnant.
Hilarious, hilarious.
Yeah, he is. That promo was God tier.
The one in the octagon with the one when he sat with Karen Bryant was fucking outrageous.
He's funny.
He is mad funny.
That guy is unironically a funny guy.
Yeah, and he's from Portugal. Hold it down, baby. You know what I'm saying? So
we also did mention Tatsuro Taira briefly. I think he also has a shot. Now the striking is lacking. Not that he's lacking the power. It's just more of the volume, right? He's a little low volume, maybe a little too grapple heavy, but he's very fucking good at the grappling. And I think he does have a shot at making top 15 in the pound for pound list.
to his credit, he's a clean puncher. And he's not a volume puncher, but he throws punches straighter than a lot of guys in that division. Like, respect, he throws punches better than Pantoja. I thought he was going to be I still think he's the guy that's really going to beat Pantoja. So him and Cap are going to be interesting challenges to both those guys. So Van is, I think his time is limited, and unfortunately, so I don't want to shit on the guy too much, but it's just real.
A guy we did mention already in some detail, Jerry Prochazka. Definitely not only ranked in pound for pound, but I think potential to be top 5.
Correct. As well as a champion if Powhatan vacates and moves up.
Yes.
Like, I really believe that he can get back into this discussion, like, you know, with open arms, because the MMA community loves this guy. And he's a dad now. It's Jova. You know what I'm saying?
It's Jova. Now I got a name that you mentioned briefly before in a little bit of a negative light, but, you know, I got to throw him in there because, you know, the Magomedov's got a legacy. Umar definitely has a, you know, depending on what's going on in the division, can make this list. I think he's been on this list once before. Can be ranked pound for pound. I can see it next year. Depending on how things, you know, lay out, right?
There's a path here.
There is definitely a path. Diego Lopes. I can see him being pound for pound.
I mean, Volkanovski's shooting movies now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I think he's live as hell in this rematch.
He's very live as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, rematches never go the same. Listen, Lopes did not look good in that last fight.
The last Volkanovski fight.
Yes.
His last fight against Diego.
Against
Lord Assassin.
the Lord Assassin, the Silva. Yeah, no, he looked great in that one.
Yeah.
That fight was sick.
Now, he was getting touched, but bro, like the way he
fight was insane.
That fight was crazy, and he just murked him. Like,
but like, you know, again, rematches don't look the same. He did get worked by Volkanovski. Volkanovski was able to turn back the clock on that fight, and you know, hey, show people
Topuria is that good.
the old Australian guy ain't washed. You know, he likes to dress up as an old man and shit and make fun of it. But like, you know, he put on a bit of a I must have forgot kind of shit performance against Lopes.
It also shows you that Topuria is that good.
Yeah.
Topuria is that good, guys.
Couple more names. Ian Gary.
Yeah, right though. You're right.
You can't deny it. Ian Gary. I think he's got a shot here. Also, same division. Shavkat. Clearly.
Lorosenko voice. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Ooh. That man.
That man.
Yeah, I think Loki, I think he beats Islam. But you know, people, you know, he's a tough fight for Islam. That's a crazy fight. Like I worry about his striking defense a little bit, but I do think Islam's gonna have a hard time taking him down. Like I've seen training footage of this guy working with Kamaru and Jason Jackson, who can fucking wrestle, by the way. I know he's a PFL fighter, but dude, he can wrestle and he's big. So he beat Amosov, who just steamrolled Neil Magny. I suspect Amosov's going to steamroll a couple of other people in this division. So I just think that Shavkat is the real deal Holyfield son.
And I left maybe my favorite name for last, maybe the best name for last. I think Fluffy Hernandez.
Put some respect on Fluffy's name.
That man is going to be pound for pound for sure. He definitely cracks the pound for pound rankings, and I think, on God, he could crack top 5.
Yeah, I that Strickland fight is interesting because we've never seen anyone wrestle into Strickland. I suspect he's going to be the first guy.
Spoiler alert, guys. I'm taking Fluffy there.
I agree.
I'm just throwing it out there right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. Too. Like I think Strickland is interesting because he can grapple. No one's really pushed his wrestling. He does have cardio, but bro, your cardio is really tested when you get wrestled into. Respectfully, yeah, you can hang around for a round or two with Hamzat Chimaev. That guy's not a gas tank fighter. Like, I get it. And then, you know, the word came out that Strickland kind of worked him in the gym. Like, you know, those are rumors.
Yeah.
They're rumors. They're alleged rumors. But this is a guy, Fluffy, who can keep pressure on you for 5 rounds. If it was 25 rounds, he can do it. So I think the chain wrestling, I think his ability to take damage, I think his ability to land damage, I think he has like surprisingly big punching power. Not huge, but like he has more pop than people want to give him credit for.
The striking's a little underrated.
I agree.
And the grappling, you know, I guess if you want to make a comparison, Marab-like.
Yeah.
You know, and for a bigger guy like that, oof.
And he has more of a submission. He's more of a submission threat.
Way more of a submission threat. Yeah.
So for me, I think he's going to. I think even though Strickland hasn't really been tested as much as you like to see in the wrestling, most of his fights have been stand-up fights. I think the UFC knows what they're doing here. I think they want to give him a guy that's going to be low volume, that he can wrestle into, that's going to complain about being wrestled into, that's going to settle for certain positions off of his back. Dricus took him down, but Dricus is not a control grappler like Fluffy. He's just not.
He's not.
This is a guy in Fluffy who I think is a real problem. I'm with you. I think he is a real threat to Kamzat too. A real threat. Like he's going to play in those grappling exchanges. So.
And one more name to mention, because we'd be reminisce if we don't. Arman Tsarukyan.
Yes.
He's currently ranked.
He's going to be higher.
I think he's catapulting here.
Yeah.
Dude, like, who beats him?
That ground and pound that he did on Dan, that's the improvement that we've been waiting for if you are a hardcore analyst or someone that knows what they're watching.
Yeah.
When he's doing shit like that, good luck, guys.
And again, I don't want to compare him to like somebody like John Jones, but I will make this comparison. Like, you know, the guy is very fucking good, but he's also an asshole. Two things can be true, but the guy is extremely talented and literally not only top 5 potential, championship potential. I think Arman Tsarukyan, he's got the goods.
Yeah, he's a fucking dog. And I've been telling you guys too, like, if you watch the first fight with Islam, he out-wrestled Islam in certain positions on short notice. Him with a full camp, come on, bro. Especially this version of him. If he moved up to fight Islam, I'd be a little worried because of the size. Because I think he's naturally a 55er. Islam is probably naturally a 70-pounder. But at 55, even a catchweight at 65, this fight's fucking competitive, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He's the best wrestler in this division. I don't care what anybody... Even when Islam was there, dude, his freestyle wrestling is absurd. Absurd. I will take his shit over whatever they do on the mountain to Dagestan, because they do not have the athleticism Arman has. They also don't. Their chain wrestling's probably about the same, but Arman's ability to scramble is better than Islam's. His ability to shoot from the outside is better than Islam's. He's just better.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why he was a real threat to Islam when he was there. And listen, he fell out of the fight. Islam, to his credit, stood in. It's not his fault. Mm-hmm. But I think Arman's at a point in his career, considering he's from a rich family, where he doesn't have to take fights if he's hurt. He doesn't need the money.
He does, and that's what makes him like a particularly scary fighter. Because, you know, most fighters fight for money. Most fighters, their motivation is, you know, to get a bag. You know, it's called prize fighting, right?
Correct.
The man's already got the prize. He's got money. This man fights for fun.
For the glory.
He fights for the glory.
Scary dude.
And, like, I mean, maybe it's not that much of a hot take. My fight that I'm most looking forward to, if they make it next year, hopefully, is him and Topuria.
Yeah, that's crazy because I think he matches up better with Islam. And it's because the only issue with Arman is his chin. And this is a guy, you can't make mistakes with him, dude. You cannot. He will put your fucking lights out.
I want to see that fight bad.
That's a great fight. And the reason why it's interesting is because Ilya is a very good wrestler too. Mm-hmm. He's not Arman though. And I'm telling you that he's not Arman Tsarukyan, guys. It's respectfully to Topuria. He's the better. I think he's the better, well-rounded fighter. But if you're asking me, like, who's the better wrestler, it's fucking Arman. It clearly is Arman. So, yeah, I'm with you here. I think Arman belongs on this list. I think he's a bad motherfucker, and I think he will be much higher at year end.
And that does it for our UFC pound for pound talk. I hope you guys enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to be moving right along to the sweet science. We do have one card this weekend. It's a big one. It's the Ring 5, Night of the Samurai. Again, I didn't choose that title. It's a little crazy.
That's why I put that out there.
Listen, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they're wilding out right now. And I'm saying with the names. But,
absolutely.
Okay. But it is headlined by Inoue Picasso. But we're not going to be kicking it off there. We're going to be kicking it off for the IBF World Super Flyweight title. We have Kenshiro Teraji going one-on-one with Willibaldo Garcia. Teraji, the amazing boy. Ayo. 25-2 overall. Fighting out of Japan, repping Japan, 30 years old. Nope, 33 years old. I stand corrected. Garcia, 23-6-2 overall. Fighting out of Mexico, repping Mexico, 36 years old.
Yeah, so just to start it off, this is probably the best fight of the card. This fight's going to be a banger.
Oh, it's going to be a slobber knocker.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this one.
Me and my brother were watching footage of this fight right before the podcast, and particularly Garcia. Dude, Garcia just walks forward, bro. Like, that dude, and listen, to his credit, he's never been stopped. So, like, I think he's just waiting for the day that he gets checked.
Hey, this could be the day, though.
I think it will be.
No regard for human life, this man.
Yeah, like, he swings from his hips, which is bad for defense. He does a lot of things that are fun to watch, man. But, like, dude, you're going to run into, like, these guys like Teraji that can throw down the pipe, and they're going to land with authority. There's a couple of things that are going for Teraji in this fight that I think this is why he gets a stoppage. He's going to be an inch taller. I think the length with the reach, they don't have anything for Garcia listed. It's going to be about even. Maybe Garcia is going to have a little bit of a reach advantage because he looks lanky as hell. But regardless, he doesn't throw from distance. He likes to throw in close range. He fights super, super like Mexican style.
Right in the pocket, phone booth style.
Yeah, but this is a guy in Teraji, way better brand of competition. Going to be 3 years younger as well. Throws down the pipe. Garcia's never been stopped. I suspect he's going to get stopped in this fight. His last fight, he got rocked bad walking into a shot. And this is a guy in Teraji who not only has the boxing acumen, but he has the power to really land with authority to either discipline you or to knock you out. So for me, I think this is Teraji's fight to lose. I think this is a nice feature fight to really put him on display and showcase his abilities and skills. Give me Teraji by knockout here. I think he gets it done. It could be early. That's the thing with this fight. It could be anytime. Like, it could be late. It could be early.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just because Garcia leaves himself to get hit. So Teraji by knockout is where I'm going with this.
Next fight on the card, and is currently constituted the co-main event of the evening. We have Big Bang Junto Nakatani going one-on-one with Sebastian Logan Hernandez. Nakatani, perfect. 31-0. Fighting out of Japan, repping Japan, 27 years old. Hernandez is also perfect. 20-0. Fighting out of Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico, repping Mexico, 25 years old.
This is the most interesting fight on the card. It's probably not going to be the funnest, but it's the most interesting just because of the styles. This is a Nakatani moving up from 19 to 122. That's one factor. This is going to be the first fight where, in a while, that I haven't seen him kind of tower over the guy he's fighting. The dimensions are relatively the same. Hernandez is actually a little bigger than him height-wise. Nakatani has a 2-inch reach advantage. Hernandez, just for a reference sake, has an inch. He's an inch taller than him.
But we also got to keep in mind that this is boxing, so, you know, the measurements are relative, and, you know.
Till we see it on Fight Time.
Till we see them face off.
Yeah, because unfortunately, correct my brother's point, we've seen a whole bunch of, like, Sky Nicholson's opponents last week when we covered her, or 2 weeks ago, whenever we covered her. They listed them as the same height as her. When you look at them, it looks like they cut off their legs or they were bending down and fighting her.
Yeah, it was insane.
They took a knee to fight her.
The size, the disparity was insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
But this is a guy, Nakatani. This is going to be, I think, a tougher fight for him, low key. Hernandez presents a lot of things. Hernandez walks forward. Credit to Turkey for matchmaking a lot of this. A lot of these fights are going to be fantastic. With that said, Hernandez, one thing he does, he fights very in the pocket as well. But the one thing he does really well, he has a surprisingly very good jab. And he knows how to work behind it. He gets very much downhill. The dude had 17 stoppages before his last fight against Azat. And the Azat fight was very close to being 18 in certain portions. I think Hernandez is going to give Nakatani a lot of problems with the jab, with the size. But I think Nakatani is the more diverse puncher. I think he has the more diverse striking. He moves his head a little better. Hernandez is there to be hit. I don't think Hernandez has fought someone that's like this, to be frank. I think in terms of skill level, Nakatani is there. I think his power will translate to 22. I'm going to lean Nakatani for the pick here. I don't love the odds, and I don't know specifically how this fight's going to get done. Like, he could knock him out, but it could get stretched to a decision because I think Hernandez is just being overlooked here in a lot of ways. The line is juicy. I just cannot get behind it. I was closer to playing the Renee fight last week, which we didn't play. We didn't get to it. And he wound up upsetting the guy in Japan. He was like a plus 600 dog. I definitely can't get to it here. I can't. I think Nakatani is legit. And if I'm looking at the bigger picture and the bigger spectrum of what Turkey and Riyadh is trying to do, I think they're trying to matchmake Inoue and Nakatani here. So I'm suspecting that Turkey and that promotional group is looking to push Nakatani to the front of the line with this fight. And this is his fight to lose stylistically, in my opinion. Give me Junto Nakatani. I'll say by late round stoppage, But if it gets stretched to decision, I'm not going to be surprised.
Next fight on the card, and is currently constituted the main event of the evening for the undisputed super bantamweight title. We have Naoya Inoue going one-on-one with David Picasso, the monster. Inoue, perfect, 31-0. Fighting out of Japan, repping Japan, 32 years old. Picasso, El Rey, is 32-0-1, so technically perfect. Fighting out of Mexico, repping Mexico, 25 years old.
And yep, as I mentioned, Nakatani, Inoue, they're like two peas in the pod. Inoue being the main event of this card, Nakatani being right under him. You see what they're trying to do. But to Turkey and the promotional group's credit, like the Nakatani fight, this isn't going to be an easy fight for Inoue by any stretch of the imagination. Picasso is going to be physically bigger than him. He's going to have 3 inches in size and about 2.5 inches in reach. But with that being said, and this is going to be the shortest breakdown of the podcast because I do think it is warranted, Inoue should be able to handle him.
Skills pay the bills at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Skills pay the bills, and he's going to be much faster than Picasso. Picasso's an up-and-down fighter, as the great Floyd Mayweather would say. He's a north-south fighter. He does not have like a diverse punching strategy. He likes to walk up and down, super Mexican style. He's going to walk right into what Inoue likes to do. Inoue, I suspect, will be able to at least discipline him with the power. This is a guy who was able to control Akhmadaliev and pretty much dog walk him to a decision. Yes, he did have that gunfight against Cardenas, but once again, this is a guy that I've been saying for a long time, likes to put on entertaining contests, but in turn can fight a good, sound, technical boxing match. And since I think the Nakatani fight is in the wings, I suspect he is going to stay disciplined, stay behind the jab, use his feet, use his power, discipline Picasso, and possibly put him away. Picasso, like Hernandez, has not been stopped before, but once again, skills pay the bills. I think he is much faster than Picasso. Picasso fought Kameda his last fight. Kameda was able to land comfortably on him and land damage on him. I don't suspect it's going to be that much different. I will give Picasso the benefit of the doubt. If Naoya Inoue is stifled to a technical boxing fight, I think this is a fight where he can stretch this to a decision and survive the monster that is called Inoue. Give me Naoya Inoue to win this fight and to paint the perfect Picasso with Picasso's body parts.
Damn.
I think he's going to put on a performance. If he gets a late round stoppage, I would not be surprised. I will be looking at some props, but I think Picasso has enough to hang in there with the monster, especially with the size and with his ability to punch as well. I think Inoue's going to play the safe, make sure he secures the bag, gets the Nakatani fight, and I suspect he's going to try and control him the same way he did Akhmadaliev. But to his credit, to Picasso's credit, he's much bigger than Akhmadaliev, MJ. So I think he has a better chance of getting to the belt here. Give me Inoue by decision here.
And that does it for the boxing fights for this particular episode. But, I do want to briefly touch on the Boxing Hall of Fame. Something that, doesn't get probably talked about enough. At least the class of 2026 that just got announced about a couple weeks ago. For the modern men category, it's headlined by, obviously, the man himself, Triple G. Also got Antonio Tarver, Nigel Benn. For the women, we have Fujioka and Nava. And for the old timers, we do have Clabley. Just want to give a little shout out to them. And, I'll let my brother, jump into that and, expound on why he thinks some of these guys should be in there.
Well, just to jump into the ones that are the most controversial, because apparently a lot of the guys in the men's class are being like highly questioned, which I have a hard time understanding. We'll start with Triple G. People criticizing the Triple G getting. Listen, man.
Come on.
I think it's a little absurd.
You don't know ball, man, if you don't think he should be in.
100%. And I just feel like the man is being vastly disrespected, particularly in the X/Twitterverse, which I've been seeing. And I don't understand quite why people are disrespecting him. This is a guy who the only criticism you could really say about his career is that he didn't move up and fight Andre Ward. But he didn't need to. He's a middleweight fighter. Light heavyweight is a bigger weight class, bigger guy. He's doing with all the lose. Without that being said, let's get into it. Triple G fought Canelo 3 times. Lost twice, drawed once. I thought he beat him the first 2 times. And yes, the history books won't write it that way, but let's call it what it is. The historians will remember.
The boxing fans will remember.
The people who know boxing will remember. Like if you watch those first 2 fights, I thought he beat him cleanly the first fight. And I thought the second one you could argue for Canelo, but I gave it to Triple G too because he controlled the fight with the jab. Credit to Canelo, by the way. This is not in terms of anything Canelo slander. He's one of my favorite fighters ever. I could make a real case to you that he's probably the GOAT Mexican boxer. Hot take as hell, but
also another shoo-in for the Hall of Fame.
Let's just call it what it is. And I can make a real argument for that. But if we look at his resume, beat Sergey Derevyanchenko as well. I think he's an underrated Ukrainian boxer. He's very good. Beat Danny Jacobs, a little questionable. I thought Jacobs actually edged him. But listen, if you look at the resume of some of these guys, they all have wins that questionably shouldn't have gone to them. Even the Derevyanchenko fight, questionable, is fucking tight, so respectfully, we gotta understand that that's a preface and an asterisk on all people's resumes. All great fighters' resumes. I'm just gonna call it like it is. Beat Kell Brook, beat Willie Monroe Jr. And the biggest thing to mention about Triple G is the reason why he doesn't have more names on this list is because he was the most feared and ducked fighter of his generation. The only guy that was willing to get in there with him was Canelo, at least from a prominent name standpoint. So once again, big ups to Canelo Alvarez, but Triple G most assuredly belongs in the Hall of Fame. And I do think we have to take into account boxing history and the amount of people that did turn down a fight with this guy. Did not want to get in the ring with him. And if we're talking about punchers and pound for pound middleweight greats, it's him, Marvin Hagler, and Roy Jones Jr. I think Roy, we'll get into that a different day. I think Roy's above both of them. But if we're being honest, Triple G's top 3, lowest top 5. Find me 2 other middleweights that are better than him. I'll wait. So put some respect on Triple G's name. He belongs in this Hall of Fame class. Not the biggest resume, but I think we need to stop with that resume shit, particularly when we know the politics of boxing and we conveniently use them for different arguments that suit our arguments. So, sorry, Triple G's in. Nigel Benn, deservingly so, before my time when he fought, but I have watched some of his footage. I haven't heard a lot of disrespect towards him, but the other man that I want to mention today that has received a lot of criticism is the great, and I will say the great, Antonio Tarver. Had the coldest line in boxing history pre-fight. Are you going to have any excuses tonight, Roy? And then proceeded to murk him later in the fight. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, for you guys that don't know the history, he fought Roy the first time and lost a controversial decision. A lot of people thought he won that fight. Credit to Roy Jones Jr., particularly with boxing politics, did not duck him. Went up to heavyweight, then, which I think he unfortunately did, shedded the lean muscle mass to make the weight class again to entertain Antonio and to kind of close the door. But once again, credit to Roy for addressing the critics and putting his nuts on the table to fight someone like Antonio, particularly when a lot of people thought he lost the first fight rather. Antonio Tarver has only really been cleanly beat by Bernard Hopkins, who is another all-time great. I think Antonio Tarver is being vastly disrespected. He is another guy that I think was vastly ducked throughout his career. The resume speaks for itself in terms of who he's beaten, as well as who he's been in there with, and as well as who he's been competitive with. The resume is even longer for who didn't want to get in there with him and who ducked him. If we're being honest, if you go back and watch some of these fights, if you watch Glenn Johnson, I thought he beat Glenn Johnson cleanly. He lost the split decision, then came back and beat him unanimously in the second fight. B-Hop, as I mentioned, was the only guy that really beat him convincingly, in my opinion. Credit to B-Hop, all-time great. He lost to Chad Dawson. I didn't think he lost either fight, to be frank. I thought boxing politics kind of got involved with that. I mean, dude, you have to, like I said, the resume says one thing. The boxing historians and the guys who know what they're watching understand the different story. And to wrap this all up, I also want to give a big shout out to Antonio Tarver. I met him face-to-face, man-to-man, right after the Tank Rolly Romero fight at the Barclays Center. The dude gave me 15 to 25 minutes of his time. I don't know. I was in a trance because I was talking to Antonio Tarver, ladies and gentlemen. I was very excited. The guy is a very genuine human being, a very prominent voice in the sport now with his own platform, a guy that understands the sport, a guy that outside of the ring is very much the same person, gave me and my friend a ton of time, and I cannot express to him how thankful I am to him. The dude follows me on Instagram. The dude is a big reason why this platform got started, because he actually gave me my flowers in that conversation without me even having to say anything. Credit to him and his Hall of Fame journey. I am a big fan of his style. I'm a big fan of who he is. Thank you, Antonio Tarver. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Rightfully fucking so.
And that does it for this episode. 128 in the books. For the UFC heads, I hope the pound for pound talk was enough to satiate a little bit of the missing in action part of the fights. For the boxing heads, hope you enjoy the Inoue Night of the Samurai shit going down. But, you know, all good things got to come to an end. My brother, unfortunately, got to take us home.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
If you're enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, what the fuck are you waiting for? Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. Love you guys. Holla at you guys. Once again, congratulations to Antonio Tarver and the rest of the Hall of Fame recipients. Enjoy the fights this weekend. This is a banger Japanese last, samurai card, Hey. I didn't make the name, but the fights are incredible. Credit to Turkey and the promotional team that he works with, and them putting together the best fights possible.
The fights that we spoke about and the fights we didn't talk about. Head to toe, that card is pretty stacked, so hope you guys enjoy that one.
And with that said, too, for the fights that we didn't discuss, please drop a comment if you want us to discuss it further, and we'll give you some intel as to what we think of those contests. But until then, enjoy this episode. See you guys for the next episode. Holla at you guys. Big things to come in 2026. Later. Peace. One.